of the semifinals of the finale tournament of Inappropriate Movie Database, the comedy game show about content warnings. I'm your host, Nick Martucci. I can't believe it, but after 2 months of ending this show's almost over. After tonight, there's only 2 episodes left. We've already got 2 people set for the finale. We're going to pick another one tonight. What's going to happen, my friends? You're going to try to figure out movies based on terrible parental warnings I found on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. Whoever wins will move on to the finale for a chance to win $150. Thanks to one of the nice gentlemen on the show tonight. I don't think we need to waste any more time. Let's jump into this. Returning to the show tonight, she took home her first win in the first round. She's here now. Hali Akers, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. I am so excited to see how you do tonight. Also returning, didn't win, but gathered an impressive 12 points in the first round, especially considering it was only his first game. Kevin Brady, welcome back to the show.
Hello, hello. I assure you that is me hiding behind that lovely headshot photograph.
I mean, what can we do? It's technology and it's terrible.
We'll do it live.
Exactly. Kevin, I'm so glad that I got to have you on at least a second show. So let's see if you can continue this tonight.
Fingers crossed.
Also lost the first round, but 8 points brought him here, and also despite that, he is one of the best players for this game. He also maybe unwittingly donated $50 to the prize fund. Conor Shanahan, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Nick. What's going on?
Thanks for being here.
There, but I do have a head as well. What's up, everybody?
No, we're just we gotta just look at Sadie.
We're just gonna look at Sadie. That's much preferred. Let's be honest.
And finally, for now at least, we might add somebody else, but she ended up with one of the highest scores of the first round and the win at 19 points. Hal Griffin back on the show. Welcome back, Hal.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
I'm so happy to have you here. You never did the show enough, but you were always great at it. So I'm excited for this lineup. This is some good people. And it looks like we are not going to get that fifth player, but we'll see. Maybe the next game. I know that it kind of gives it away with the screen behind me, but that's how this show works. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the show. Like I was telling our players beforehand, I want you to buzz in saying your name. Only one person can get points in these rounds, but other than that, game's exactly the same. We're going to go in alphabetical order, which means, Connor, you get to pick our first year.
Okay.
Would you like a movie from 1988, 1995, or 2005?
95, please.
95. This movie from 1995, if anybody wants to guess for 5 points, there's a number in the title. Title is also a full sentence. It's a PG-rated movie, and it has at least 2 actors from the same family in it. All right, we're going to jump into the clues for 5 points under the category of sex and nudity. A man and a woman kiss several times. A woman falls into a pool. Her nipples are plainly visible through her shirt. Who was that?
Hal?
Hal, what do you think?
It Takes Two.
I cannot believe you got it from that. This is the Olsen twin classic, It
Yes.
Takes Two.
Hell yeah, Hal.
I have a horrible story about this stupid movie. I was watching it at a friend's house and we were like screwing around and her dad lost his shit on us. Like this is not a cute story. I shouldn't tell it, but he ended up like losing his mind. He took the tape out of the VHS and he like destroyed it because he was so upset that we were making so much noise watching this movie. And it's like kind of burned into my brain, like everything about the. He was a really nice guy. I've never seen him lose his temper, but it was something about like that night. He just like destroyed the VHS in front of us.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also in this movie, because I have these clues written down. Sex and nudity, the back of a woman's wedding dress is ripped, exposing her pink underwear.
I would have guessed it from that.
Violence and gore, there's a food fight in the cafeteria, played for laughs. Frightening and intense scenes, it is revealed that the Buttkiss family adopts kids only for them to work in their salvage yard as slave laborers. And frightening and intense scenes, Alyssa, while posing as Amanda, gets adopted by the Buttkiss family and hauled away in a van, crying for Diane. Hal takes an early lead with 5 points and also is going to pick our next year. Hal, would you like a movie from 1962, 1989, or 2006?
Let's do 2006, the golden age.
All right, this movie from 2006 has a pronoun in the title, also has a gendered word in the title, and also features a cast member from the TV show The Office. Okay, for 5 points under sex and nudity. A man says the superpower he would like to have is to be able to orally pleasure himself. For 4 points under profanity, a woman carves the word dick into her ex-boyfriend's head. Then his friend comments on it in a later scene. For 3 points under violence and gore, a woman wields a chainsaw. A man attempts to attack another man with a length of pipe. There's talk of a, quote, chainsaw being shoved up your ass. For 2 points under violence and gore, a woman throws a shark through a man's window while he's lying in bed with another woman.
Oh,
and
Connor.
Hal.
Sorry.
What do you think, Hal?
Wait, my super ex-girlfriend.
This is My Super Ex-Girlfriend,
Okay.
featuring Rainn Wilson.
I was going to say super, featuring Rainn Wilson.
Last clue in that, sex and nudity. It is implied that a woman can pull a bed through a wall with her super strong vagina.
What a stupid movie. What a dumb fucking movie.
Haley, you get to pick the next year. Would you like a movie from 1953, 1998, or 2002?
98.
98. This movie from 1998 has punctuation in the title. It's written and directed by the same person, and somebody in the cast is from the live-action Scooby-Doo movie. The Scooby Gang, in particular.
Can I take a stab?
You sure can, Connor.
SLC Punk.
Can't believe I wrote 5 clues for this movie. This is Matthew Lillard in SLC Punk. Wow.
Wow.
Connor just beat me to it. I had it too.
I've never heard of that movie.
Well, you're about to hear 5 things about it.
Okay.
It's a good movie, if I remember, isn't it, Kevin?
I mean, I enjoyed it. The biggest issue is like I feel like it may not necessarily hold up 25 years plus later.
I'm gonna say, I think I watched it in '98 or '99, so I don't really remember.
I mean, they did put out a sequel like within the last 5 years.
Yeah, so that means a lot.
All signs point to good.
Yeah.
Well, because I wrote them down, in SLC Punk, Violence and Gore, a man threatens to kill 3 teenagers. He points a gun at them because he thinks that they are Satanists. They aren't. Sex and nudity, a main character's butt is shown after his pants fall off during a mosh pit. His butt is also shown during the beer raid as he tries to draw attention. He has a tattoo there. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, Bob is known for not doing anything besides smoking and drinking, therefore earning him the nickname Heroin Bob. Frightening and intense scenes when Steve-O and Sandy get high on acid in the park. Several disturbing things are shown, including Steve-O killing a snake and letting its blood drip into the river, and Sandy having a dream of Armageddon. And violence and gore. A main theme of the movie is why punks fight other people groups, and why other people groups fight punks, and the reasons they do so.
Succinct.
Yep.
There's no easier way to say that. Well, Hal is at 7, Connor's at 5. Kevin, you get to pick the next movie. Would you like a movie from 1973, 1983, or 2005?
Let's go with, what was it, 1983?
1983. This movie from 1983 is based on a book. It became a TV show, and it takes place at least partially in New England. For 5 points under violence and gore, several discussions of and a news broadcast about a series of murders. For 4 points under violence and gore, a young girl screams as she is surrounded by fire. Three points under violence and gore, the face of a dead woman is briefly shown. The time up to her murder is then shown. As she is hit and knocked unconscious, a man raises his arm to stab her. No blood or gore. Two points under violence and gore, a small car gets into an accident, putting a man in a coma. He's seen slightly bloody and bandaged in a hospital.
Oh, Connor?
Connor?
Oh, fuck, 83? Okay, The Dead Zone?
This is The Dead Zone. To my knowledge, the only role played by both Christopher Walken and Anthony Michael Hall.
For years, they've tried to get another one in there, but that's the one.
I mean, have you seen Christopher Walken's audition tape for Vacation? They wanted to bring him in for European Vacation, but he was busy with The Dead Zone.
Wow.
Last clue in there, frightening and intense scenes. The main character has visions that allow him to foresee the possible deaths of people when he touches them. Connor and Hal both at 7 points. Connor, would you like a movie from 1986, 2008, or 2016?
Let's try 86.
86. This movie from 1986 is based on a book, it's a sequel, and it won at least one Oscar. For 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, there are several scenes taking place in bars where people are drinking and smoking. A minor character is a cocaine user, and there's a couple of references about him wiping his nose after having snorted coke. That narrows down your 80s movies.
Is Kevin taking a stab? I'm going to take a stab, and I know it's a sequel. I don't know if it's based on a book. I don't know if there would have been coke in it, but can we do, let me try The Color of Money.
Not only can we try it, Paul Newman won an Oscar for it. This is The Color of Money.
Wow. All right, I'm watching that week. I'll watch The Hustler and that. Fuck.
This is going to be a fast game. Other clues in this: violence and gore. Vincent roughly handles Eddie and Carmen at one point. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Some casual drinking. Eddie's a liquor salesman and has an opening monologue trying to sell some of his liquor. Sex and nudity. As part of a con, Eddie and Carmen kiss. And violence and gore, a fist fight at a pool hall involving several punches being thrown and a man getting a bloody lip. Connor's now at 12, Hal at 7. Hal gets to pick the next movie. Hal, would you like a movie from 1934, 2001, or 2022?
Do 2001.
Okay, 2001. This movie has a possessive word in the title. It was nominated for an MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss. It features an actor who has played the Joker. And it's a movie that's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes that I really like. That's not a helpful clue, just something I thought I'd say. For 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, there's a brief sight in one scene of a dead person hanging from a gallows and another apparently dead person in a small cage.
Connor,
what do you think?
A Knight's Tale?
It is the Heath Ledger classic, A Knight's Tale. God damn.
Jesus Christ.
All I can do is apologize to Haley and Kevin.
It's not our fault we have taste.
How dare you? This movie is fantastic.
I used to do a double feature of that in SLC Punk. That was like the realm of like the last push of VHSs before it shifted over to DVD. I remember worked at a video store at the time, and that was always playing. Anyway,
it's a crowd pleaser. I don't know why it's rotten. Why don't people like David Bowie and Queen music being played during jousting matches?
Lovely anachronisms.
Also in this movie, sex and nudity. The princess shows cleavage and shows outline of nipples in the nightgown. Sex and nudity. A man walks naked down a road. We can clearly see his bare buttocks. It is implied the same man is stripped off screen by a few other men who he gambled with. We see his buttocks again here. Another man comes up and slaps him in the head while other men drag him away. Another man says to get some clothes on. Sex and nudity. While writing a love letter to a lady, a knight considers praising the lady's breasts. And violence and gore. There are jousting scenes throughout where men are knocked off and sometimes injured but never killed. Connor's now at 17. Hal is at 7, and we are halfway through this show. All right. Haley, I think you can do this. Would you like a movie from 1955, 1989, or 1998?
Let's do 98 again. At least I was alive.
This movie from 1998 features at least one former cast member of Saturday Night Live. It's got at least 2 sequels, and it was also nominated for an MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss. For 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, underage teenagers are seen drinking champagne with a man. For 4 points under violence and gore, a man is knocked overboard by a man and climbs up the boat. On the boat, he tries fighting with him, but he is shot twice with a spear gun by a young woman, once in the leg, and blood soaks out, and another shot in the chest. He falls into the blood-soaked water and drowns.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna hold off.
Hearing a couple of O's.
You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna guess and say Austin Powers.
It is not Austin Powers.
All right. Well, at least I guessed something.
At least you guessed something.
Yeah.
You reminded everyone you're still here. For 3 points under sex and nudity, Kelly and Susie kiss passionately in a pool, and the breasts of Kelly are clearly visible.
Hallie?
Hallie, what do you think?
Is it Wild Things?
This is Wild Things. Featuring Bill Murray, which I feel like nobody ever remembers.
I don't remember that. I remember the pool scene.
Everybody remembers the pool scene. And I feel like the only reason it lost the award for Best Kiss is because it was the same year Cruel Intentions came out. And people liked those movies. Also in Wild Things, Sex and Nudity, Kevin Bacon's character takes a shower. As he gets out, we briefly see his backside for 2 seconds and his genitals. Full frontal male nudity. Sex and Nudity, 2 sex scenes. One is Matt Dillon and Denise Richards having sex. The second scene is with Matt Dillon and Neve Campbell. Connor at 17, Hal at 10. Haley's moved to 3rd place with 0, Kevin at -1.
Woo!
Kevin, would you like a movie from 1956, 1981, or 2007? 17, sorry.
I'm going 1956 because we know what happened last time I picked all the old movies.
All right, let's get an old movie. Did I say 56? I meant 66.
Screw it, 66. That's fine.
Okay. 1966. This movie has over 5 words in the title. It's over 2.5 hours long, and it's featured on IMDb's top 250 movies of all time.
I'm sorry, how long? Over how many? What was
over 2.5 hours long, over 5 words in the title.
Okay, thanks.
5 points under violence and gore. Numerous men are killed quickly by gunshots, and in one-on-one gun duels, others by military skirmishes and firing squads, primarily bloodless, but corpses are often shown. For 4 points under violence and gore, an interrogator attempts to gouge a man's eyes, but stops before any damage is done.
Hali?
Hali, what do you think?
Is it the Russians are coming? The Russians are coming?
It is not the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming.
Okay.
For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, a scene with a bleeding man who asks Chuko and Blondie to blow up a bridge that is fought by two parties
Connor.
of soldiers. Connor, what do you think?
My favorite fucking movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
This is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It is, according to IMDb users, the 10th greatest movie of all time. Also in this movie, frightening and intense scenes, Angel Eyes is a complete, ruthless, and sociopathic hitman in the movie. He uses people for his own selfish gains. It should also be noted that he is the main antagonist of the movie. Completely different person from For a Few Dollars More. And alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Eastwood smokes nearly all the time in the movie. Connor has moved up to 20. Hal at 9. And we got 4 movies left. One more for each of you. Connor, would you like a movie from 1953, 1962, or 1989?
89.
89. This movie from 1989 has a pronoun in the title. It's based on a book, and it has a female director. For 5 points under sex and nudity, a man and a woman making out on a copier. Later photocopies of his hand on her buttocks, skimpy panties visible, are seen.
Hali?
Hali, what do you think?
Is it Working Girl?
It is not Working
Damn
Girl.
it. Oh. It'd be good if it was Working Girl.
It would be great if it was Working Girl.
All right. When did that movie come out?
I think around then, probably 88.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
4 points under violence and gore, a dead mouse in a casserole dish. Brief but icky. For 3 points under sex and nudity, Ed Begley Jr. runs after a woman while wearing a towel. And a brief moment, his towel slips and we see his rear end.
Connor?
Go ahead, Connor.
It's not. I think this is too early, but Death Becomes Her.
That is a great guess, but it is not Death Becomes Her.
That was much later.
I don't think it was that much later.
I'd say it's close.
Maybe
probably.
like 3 years.
Yeah, about that.
For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes, poodle drowns in the ocean. House explodes. Fire is seen throughout the film.
Kevin?
Kevin, what do you think?
I'm just hoping to get positive by the end of the game. She-Devil?
Kevin, you're achieving your goal. It is She-Devil, a
Hell yeah.
different Meryl Streep movie.
I am
Nice
taking
pull.
the knee the rest of the game.
Nice pull. She-Devil.
Last clue in that, under frightening and intense scenes, Roseanne Barr's eyes fierily demonically in one scene near the end, played for laughs. Meryl Streep and Roseanne. Connor is at 19, Hal at 8, Kevin at 1, Hali at 0. Hal, would you like a movie from, what do we have here? 2005, 2008, or 2016?
Let's do 2016.
2016. This movie from 2016 also has a pronoun in the title, has a teenage protagonist, and it's also featured on IMDb's top 250 movies of all time. For 5 points under violence and gore, 2 characters set up explosives to create an explosion. For 4 points under sex and nudity, no open nudity, 5 to 6 scenes of own breast pressing. For 3 points under profanity, some use of boobs and boobies. The word dick appears once in the subtitles. The word jackass, hell, and God is said in the English dub, once each. For 2 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, 2 characters make Kuchi Kamazaki, a type of Japanese sake. One later suggests that the other that she should make and sell Kuchi Kamazaki, which she declines, citing the liquor tax law. Last clue for 1 point under sex and nudity, multiple scenes of one character, a boy trapped inside a girl's body, groping and squeezing the body's breasts. One scene of a male character grabbing his crotch, similarly surprised. A female character in a male body is embarrassed to use the bathroom and remarks afterwards how everything is too detailed. This is played for comedic effect. Well, that is disappointing, because this is just a fucking fantastic movie that I wanted to talk about. This is the 84th greatest movie of all time. It is Your Name, an animated Japanese movie. Your Name.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
I've watched it 3 times. I cry every time. It is amazing. It is a beautiful movie. I believe at the time it ended up getting the record for the highest grossing anime movie in Japan of all time.
I'll check it out. It sounds good.
All right. Well, we got 2 movies left. Haley, would you like a movie from 1934, 2005, or 2022?
Let's go 05.
05. Penultimate movie from 2005. This movie is rated PG. It features at least one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it features at least one of the Barton Bellas from Pitch Perfect. It was harder to find categories for this one. For 5 points, under frightening and intense scenes, pretty bold / adventurous movie. Not violent, but still fun action. Certain seemingly harmless characters are revealed to be villainous for upper elementary school kids and up. mild/moderate for neurodivergent viewers. For 4 points under sex and nudity, a little girl asks a muscular man why his boobs are so big and if he has to wear a bra. He tells her that they are not boobs, and she then asks if her boobs will get as big as his someday.
Haley.
Haley, what do you think?
Is it The Pacifier?
Vin Diesel and Brittany Snow. This is The Pacifier.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Nice pull.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Other clues in The Pacifier. Violence and gore. The intro shows a rescue mission on a boat. Shane throws grenades on the deck, killing a few Serbian rebels in the explosion. They are thrown into the water. 2 jet skis crash into each other and explode. Shane shoots a helicopter with a grenade launcher. There are several rebels inside. Another agent climbs on the boat and chokes a rebel with a sleeper hold. Profanity. Vin Diesel says, "I don't know a hell of a lot about." And violence and gore, some scenes of slapstick comic violence, like people falling down the stairs and tripping on stuff. 2 teenagers attempt to sabotage their male babysitter by pouring liquid on the floor near the staircase, causing the nursemaid to trip and fall down instead. Okay, Kevin, you get to pick our last movie. Would you like a movie from... What do we have left here? 1981, 1989, or 2017?
Let's go 1989.
1989. All right. This movie from 1989, the title's a full sentence, also has a pronoun in the title, and it is based on a true story. All right, for 5 points under violence and gore. Get ready. The movie would have been a hard R, given the fairly graphic wounds, and is very similar to 187, a darker movie that couldn't have been just 15 in the UK. The only thing keeping it from being that type of movie is that this movie is meant to be educational, more than for entertainment, and the lack of hard profanity. Most of the cursing is S-words. There is only one F word and D word, not talking about damn. For 4 points under violence and gore, some students get into a fight between each other. A teacher is beaten by a student and his head is slammed into a hard floor multiple times. Blood is shown. He is then seen being carted out of the school on a stretcher by paramedics. At 3 points under profanity, during his introduction speech to the school, Joe is interrupted by a student yelling, "Suck my dick," as an insult. Not as an invitation.
Great clarification.
You know what? Screw it, Kevin. Let's just
Kevin,
see.
what do you think?
I'm gonna say Lean on Me.
Fuck yes.
Kevin, you've put an end to the game. This
Fuck
is
yes.
Lean
Yes.
on Me.
Wanted to say Dead Poet Society so bad.
I was
I know
also
it's not right.
I was
But I
also
wanted-
thinking Stand and Deliver. I was like, okay, all these movies in schools in the 80s and early 90s, like it's got to be one of these.
Yeah, 80s and early 90s were all about somebody has to go to a school where kids are killing each other,
Mhm.
and he has to make sure fewer kids kill each other.
I
All
mean,
right.
hey, it worked, I guess.
To wrap this up, the other clues in Lean on Me. Frightening and intense scenes, while not a downright intense movie, there's a lot of tension in this movie, and that can make the movie intense from time to time. The opening scene really showcases what a living nightmare East Side High was before Joe Clark came in. The fights are brutal. The opening scenes have a graphic wound shots of injured victims. The racism of the white faculty towards Clark, the plotting, the scheming against him by Gaines and Botman. Not a movie for kids. And alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Students are known for taking drugs, and one student is shown accepting drugs from a drug dealer. Many students smoke at the beginning of the movie before the new principal, Freeman, rules it forbidden. Clark, Freeman, tells a young student who has been smoking crack that the student will kill himself if he keeps taking drugs.
Wow.
And that is the end of Game 3 of the semifinals. Our final score tonight, a tie in third place between Haley and Kevin at 4 points each. Hal at 8 points. And our winner tonight at 19 points, Conor Shanahan.
He deserves it.
Nice. I mean, those were tough. That was a great game, guys. Some good pulls in there.
Yeah, that was excellent. I think you all pulled at least one where I'm like, I have no idea how. This was so much fun. Thank you all for doing this. Before we go, if there's anything you want to promote, anywhere you want to be found, or just anything you'd like to say before we end this, Kevin in the darkness, I'm going to go to you first.
Well, you can find me on pretty much every social media platform at Kevin H. Brady. Don't forget the H, or else you'll get a congressman from Texas. I assure you that's not me.
Perfect. Kevin, thank you for doing this game. It's too bad you came in so late. If I ever run this game again, I'm reaching out to you.
Well, if you ever run it again, I'll make myself available.
Haley, anything you want to say before we go?
I got nothing, but as always, it's been a pleasure to hang out.
It has been great to have you here. I always enjoy when like non-comics can come in and be good at this, because it's not something anybody should be good at. So you are a delight, and I'm glad you were here. Hal, is there anything you want to say before we go?
No. So I'm definitely out. Like, I'm definitely done.
You're definitely done. I'm so sorry.
It's my own fault. Fine. No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This.
Thank you for doing it. I loved every time that you were on.
Yeah, thanks.
Finally, our winner tonight, and a man that I might force to take his $50 back. Conor, is there anything you want to say before we go?
No, man, thanks for having me. I think there's always been a great group of people that come on here. It's very kind to each other. And I think for the most part, everyone has a good time. So you've done a great job over the last 3+ years of collecting good people to just have a little fun together on the internet every couple of weeks. So as always, man, great work. I know I only have an idea of how much work you put into this, and it's a shitload. So as always, thanks for all that you've done, especially during the pandemic, to allow people to kind of, that's when I came across this, and I couldn't go to a trivia night anymore or anything like that. So this has scratched a lot of itches. What a terrible way to say it, but it really has. So you've done a lot of services for a lot of people. So good on you, man. And Thanks for having me. Yeah, and Cosmo, and there's Cosmo.
Here's Cosmo.
As always, I really appreciate that, Connor. I'm so happy that I met you through this show, and eventually I'm gonna see what you look like in person.
Yeah, man.
Well, Connor is gonna join Josh Poirier and Zach Jones in the finale. Our final of the semifinals will be this Thursday night, August 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we have Carrie Ross, Tyler Tuttle, Doug Fitzgerald, and Rachel Dunbar fighting for that last spot. I'd like to once again thank these wonderful people: Kevin Brady, Hali Akers, Hal Griffin, Conor Shanahan. I'm Nick Martucci. You can find me on all social media at Blundering Idiom. Join the Facebook group if you search Inappropriate Movie Database or click the link in the description. That's where you can keep getting updates about this show, including like if it comes back, and also promotion for people who've been on the show. It's a fun community, as I said before. Maybe one of the least toxic Facebook groups to feature mostly Boston comedians. Also, quick plug for me. It came out today. I was on former guest George Newton's podcast. What is this? This is 80s Comedy Rewind. We have a discussion about why Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is a perfect movie. And if you can stomach listening to this verbose asshole, I swear I can convince you. So 80s Comedy Rewind with George Newton. Check that out on podcast places. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. We only have 2 episodes left. I don't know. Go like this channel, subscribe, watch one of the other 200, almost 50 episodes of this show.
Crazy.
If every episode gets up to like 1,000 views, I will bring this show back. It's not going to happen.
You heard the man.
Get on it. Hire spam bots if you need to. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.